drop had been holding up, upper part of the storm falls rapidly towards the ground. It falls very quickly and shoves a lot of air along with it. Then if there is also a current of dry air coming into the storm, cooling by evaporation can increase further and the downdraft becomes even stronger. When the downdraft hits the ground, much like a stream of water coming out of a faucet and hitting the sink, it spreads out rapidly in all directions and becomes known as a downburst. Its speeds have been known to exceed 100 mph as strong as the tornado. Also, from a distance, the downbursts can sometimes look like similar to the tornadoes. The type of downburst we hear about most often is a microburst, which means the damaging winds are confined to the area less than 2.5 miles across. Next, flash flooding is the process where a landscape, most notably an urban environment, is subjected to rapid floods. So yung flash floods nangyayari kapag malakas yung ulan sa mga mabababang lugar. Yung uri ng baha na yon is nangyayari sa loob ng 6 na oras mula sa pag-umpisa ng malakas na ulan. Yung agos ng tubig sa yung agos ng tubig sa baha na yon is sobrang malakas tsaka mabilis kaya mahirap matakasan.
Sino po dito?
So, hello po. Jericho Castillo po, and ire-report ko po is about flooding. So, next slide. What is flooding? So, flooding po is the abnormal rise of water level in rivers, coastal areas, plains, and in highly urbanized centers, which may be a result of natural phenomena, human activities, or both. So, yung flooding po, ito po yung disaster na abnormal rise of water na sa mga ilog and sa dagat. Ito po yung parang nag-uumapaw na amount of water na nakarating sa hindi naman dapat. For example po sa mga bayan. So, yun. Next slide. Primary flood types and causes. So, number 1, river rain. A type of flooding when the level of water flowing through rivers increases and goes beyond the average water level or worse, further encroaches levees. Extreme and sustained rainfall is one cause of riverine flooding. So yung word po na encroaches, ito po is similar to invade. So yung point po ng word na yun is kapag nakapasok na yung tubig sa mga bayan. And yung riverine naman po is ito po yung type ng flooding na related sa mga ilog. So number 2, estuarine and coastal. Occurs when seawater encroaches upon low-lying land that is usually still above sea level. This type of flooding can be caused by storm surge. It can also be caused by unusually high tides, astronomical high tides, a short-term sea level rise caused by the gravitational pull of the moon and the sun on the Earth's waters. Spring tides occurs when the sun, earth, moon are aligned during new moon and full moon and cause water to bulge in the direction of alignment. Neap tides occurs during quarter moons. So ito pong estuarine and coastal, ito po yung type of flooding na related naman sa coastal area. And yung estuarine naman po is yung lugar kung saan nagtatagpo yung ilog and yung dagat. So dito po sa type of flooding na to is yung example po dito is yung storm surge kapag umapaw na yung tubig sa dagat and bumaha na sa mga lugar. So, next slide po. Number 3, urban flooding. Occurs in highly populated, developed areas set on relatively low-lying areas like valleys and plains. It is mostly caused by man-made causes such as lack of proper drainage system. So ito po yung pagka bumabaha na sa mga urbanized areas natin, and yung possible causes po nito is um, pagka po malakas yung ulan or may bagyo, and sa ano po, sa drainage system kapag barado. So number 4, catastrophic flooding. It may result from ground failure and or major infrastructure failure. So from the word itself po, catastrophe, ito po yung parang sudden event na hindi inaasahan. Ito po yung type of flooding na, for example po, kapag may nasira na dam. So pag nasira yung dam, yung tubig na in-store nun, um, makakawala siya sa ilog, and magkakos po yun ng pag-apaw ng ilog, and diretso po yun sa pagbaha. So number 5, flash floods is the rapid, short-lived, and violent arrival of a large volume of water which can be caused by intense localized rainfall on land that is saturated or unable to absorb water. So ito po yung flash flood. Ito po yung mabilisang pagbaha. Mainly, pwede po siyang is caused by kapag po nagbaha sa mataas na lugar, for example po sa bundok, and yung lupa po dun is hindi na kinaya, and yun po, magre-result po siya sa flash floods. Soil erosion. So, next slide. Driving in flood water. So, ito po is mahahanap sa page 208. So, ito po ay parang ano lang, safety precautions lang po pag inabutan kayo ng baha sa daan or pag kahit bumibiyahe. So, pwede yung basahin na lang po kasi mahaba po yan. So, next slide. Destructive effects of flooding. Number 1, primary effects. Direct interaction of flood to humans and their property. This may include loss of lives and damage to property and infrastructures. So, primary effects, ito po yung kapag may nasalantang buhay and mga ari-arian ng mga tao. Yun po yung primary effects. So, secondary effects are the short-term effects. This may include power loss, risk of acquiring waterborne diseases, and etc. So, dito po sa secondary, ito po yung after ng baha. Kapag po na, example po ng pag nawala ng kuryente kasi nasira yung mga poste and others. And tsaka yung pong kapag nagkasakit through waterborne diseases like leptospirosis. So, number 3, tertiary effects are the long-term effects. This may include hardships and unemployment from the destruction of production and service-based business due to the flooding. So, ito po is after din po ng baha, and kapag po yung mga businesses is naapektuhan, yun po yung effect na magli-lead into unemployment and tsaka po sa sa pagkawalan ng production of products. So, next slide. Mitigation of flood hazards. So, number 1, flood hazard assessment and mapping. Number 2, flood prediction. Number 3, flood forecasting and warning. Number 4, flood control engineering measures. So, lahat po to is sa tingin ko under naman po siya ng forecasting and dito po yung parang binabalita ng pag-asa or ng news kung ano yung mga possible na mangyari sa pagbaha. And before po yung sa halimbawa po sa mga typhoon na mangyayari. So next, flood control. So ito po, number 1, dams. Number 2, diversion canals. Number 3, rivers and coastal defenses. Number 4, self-closing flood barrier. So number 5, seawall. Ito po yung mga structures na man-made na posible pong makatulong sa pag-prevent ng baha. So next, what to do before, during, and after a flood. Number 1, before. Find out if your area is prone to flooding. Keep tuned into the news and on TV and radio for weather updates. Number 2, during. Avoid having to walk or drive through floodwaters. Turn off gas lines and shut down electricity. Wear boots when walking through floodwaters to avoid getting electrocuted. And avoid acquiring waterborne diseases. Number 3, after. Take precautions against the risk of entering property that may be structurally compromised and wear boots to avoid getting electrocuted. So next. So yun lang po, next reporter.
Lorraine,
Thank you.
mag-join ka na lang ulit, be. 8 minutes na lang,